Boys, it's me, the Warden's Veil Slayer, Urpog. I'm gonna show you which builds are best on this patch. Right now, you see all the builds on your screen. I'm gonna tell you why they're the best, and they're in correct order. So from left to right, that matters, right? So starting off with the best builds this patch, this is pretty much the build you can go into every single lobby with. It's a very aggressive build, and then there's also the defensive variant of this aggressive build. Right, so the idea is, in every single build, you want to be rushing Black Cleaver, or mostly every build, you want to be rushing Black Cleaver. Black Cleaver Urgot is basically full build, right? So you always want to ideally be rushing Black Cleaver. There's some niche situations where you don't want to be rushing Black Cleaver. This first build, Black Cleaver, Prowlers, Sereldas, Sterix Gauge, and Chempunk. Chempunk is situational, it's just an example end item. This is the best build. Shout out to Cerso Rising for this build. He told me about a year ago now, and I've been in love with it ever since. The idea is you have so much damage, no one can really survive you. Champions who kite you can't kite you due to Serelda's Grudge. Champions who would kill you, wildcard you, can't kill you because of Sterix. Sterix is a bit more of my, like, spin of his build. I don't know if Certa still likes Sterix Gauge. I talk to him every now and then about the item. I haven't got an item opinion in a while. His build, as its core, though, is Black Cleaver, Prowlers, Sereldas. And these three items together are amazing, right? So the idea is Black Cleaver, Prowler on top of them, Sereldas, they can't get away from you, you just one-shot them. You have too much armor pen, even if they're a squishy champion, this build annihilates people, right? So for situational end items, instead of Chempunk, if you don't need the anti-healing because you're running Ignite like I do, you can go Guardian Angels, you can grab a Gargoyles if you want to, because it's immediate anti-burst. But you want to follow along with the theme with, like, aggression, right? If this build goes into the late game, selling Prowlers might be optimal, and then you can go into the Jackshow build below. You can go for this Jackshow build in your normal games anyway, so let's say you're bad with active items, you're bad with Prowler. You can just do the Jackshow build instead, but let's say this build goes into the 40-minute mark, you can just sell Prowlers, and then build it into Jackshow, and then build Gargoyles out of this, right? So it's a flexible build as well as the best build, right? Because this build also floats into your other best build in the late game. When you're looking to side lane, when you're looking to do personal individual plays, this is the build for you. Let's say you have like Senna Seraphine, you want to start team fighting, then you want to itemize for the Jackshow build, right? So those are your best two builds. I go these builds every single lobby. So now let's get a little bit more situational. Here's the S-Class. So what separates this from the S-Class? One is using Titanic Hydra. Titanic Hydra is more of like a comfort item for Urgot mains, and I feel like a lot of Urgot mains kind of autopilot towards this kind of build, which is fine. Titanic Hydra, nothing wrong with it. It's in the S-tier class for a reason, right? But you can live without it, right? And if you can live without an item because it's not optimal, that's why it's an S. S plus is optimal. This is comfort and just general reliable builds. You're gonna see a common theme between all these builds of like using the same items because there's just generally like a kind of elite tier items for Urgot right now. There are some people who complain about Urgot itemization right now, but I feel like people complain about Urgot itemization because they have to constantly keep updated with what they should be building. So in my opinion, Urgot doesn't have itemization issues, Urgot has laziness issues from Urgot mains. No flame. But Urgot's itemization is so chill. I also don't think people are utilizing this build enough, but anyway, this is just a build with Eclipse. Why is Eclipse here? Eclipse is if you're bad with active items. So I know GamerDad TV, shout out GamerDad, great Urgot content creator. He's not good with active items, right? He doesn't know when to use Prowlers or how to use Prowlers. And we love GamerDad. I'm not flaming GamerDad, it's just an example of a popular content creator who doesn't like to use Prowlers, right? So either if you're bad enough at Prowlers, she doesn't use active items, go Eclipse, right? There's no shame in going Eclipse. This build tries to achieve the same things, but it has a bit more armor pen rather than like aggressiveness, right? So like say you go against an Orianna with Eclipse, you can't kill her. But if you're going against the Orianna with Prowlers, you can do E Prowler and then one-shot her, right? The Eclipse build makes some matchups more unapproachable, but if they're running like Malphite, Scion, etc., and you need that armor pen, then this build is great. The build above is just using Titanic, so if you want wave clear and you value Titanic's like HP build path and stuff like that, that's fine. These builds are absolutely fine. So let's move to the A tier. The A tier, they're just defensive builds, right? So these two builds exactly the same. You're starting with Titanic, but you can also start Black Cleaver if you like this build path but want to start Black Cleaver, that's fine. But this build is more like playing for teamfight. This is if you are a juggernaut player to your core, right? This is going beyond comfort. This is like, oh, I want to lock in Urgot, I want to play tank. Here's your best build. right? You can do Titanic, Jack Show, BC, Gargoyle, Thornmail. This is if they're AD. So let's say there's 4 enemy AD champions, you get 4 AD. This is the build for you. But let's say they're 4 AP. And then you just shout the Thornmail for a Force of Nature. These builds work really good against hybrid damage because Jack Show gives you armor plus MR. Gargoyles is also armor plus MR, so these builds work specifically great against hybrid damage dealers, right? So let's say they are a hybrid damage dealer. Let's say they are a 5 AD team comp. You can replace your Gargoyles on your 4th slot for Thornmail, and then you can build your last item with, I would not say Deadman's. Deadman's is like 6-5 and Cell Boots kind of item. You can go Death Dance if they're all AD. Don't go Death Dance if they're 3 AD, 2 AP. But generally speaking, these build passes work the best, right? I would not consider Deadman's a competitively viable item for Urgot, purely because Urgot can't utilize it as good as other champions due to the range penalty, right? So generally speaking, the top build is best against AD champions. The second build is best against AP champions, right? You can also swap out the Gargoyles in the AP build. Maybe grab yourself a more Sterax. Just make yourself more applicable to AP champions. You can also go Spirit Visage in the AP build if you have enchanters. But if you have no enchanters, then I would just opt for Sterax. It makes you more aggressive, but it also gives you defensive capabilities on top of your tankiness aggression, right? So the third build here is a bit of a Urpog playstyle. So this is basically my support build, but on top lane, right? So let's say you're getting camp top lane. There's like Sejuani, Belveth combo, making your life absolutely unplayable. You can go for this build. You rush into BC to be utility for your team, and then you just swallow your ego and you accept, oh, I'm a super minion anyway. How do I better enable my teammates when I'm a super minion? You do that by building lockets. You go lockets into Titanic or Redemption. Again, this Titanic item is really situational if you want to include it or not. It's more so like, oh, I need to push out waves and go group with my teammates, right? Titanic is a wave clear manipulation item. Do you need to insta-push and then run down to Dragon? There you go, there's the Titanic Hydra. Do you not need to wave flare? Like, maybe you can like 1v1 them even with your locket, because Urgot is kind of broken on BC. Then you can just skip locket and go into Redemption, you can go into Chains, or you can just like change this build into a more standard build. Because you can do BC lockets and then just start building your more standard items of Serelda, Sterax, and Kembok. But generally speaking, this is the build when you are behind and like out of a lobby. And it's just one way to keep yourself relevant without needing to be ahead. Because Urgot isn't a Feast or Famine. Urgot can function from 0 and 15 KDA. If you watch the stream, you'll know that perfectly, right? Moving on to the B tier. This is the last tier of my items. It's just, if you like to start Titanic, and if you like Eclipse, it's bad, but you can do it. It is viable, it's just not the best, right? There's no reason to ever go this build, but it does exist. So if you like this, you can do it. There's just better ways to build, right? These items all together are all viable. And that's what makes this build a thing. But you can build items in different slots. Like, you can do BC, Titanic, then Eclipse, and it becomes infinitely, like, instantly more viable, right? It'll probably shift it up to an A tier build. So I'll talk about the other mythics real quick that I haven't mentioned. In the S+ tier, I think Radiant also has its place with Jack Show. But it's not my playstyle, and I'm trying to teach you how I play the game. I can't advocate for items I don't actively use, but I've used Radiant a couple times, and it feels good. I think I would put it in the S+ tier, so let's say you, instead of Jack Show, you're using Radiant. I think Radiant belongs in the S tier. But again, it's very experimental for me, and I wouldn't give you guys information or recommend something I wouldn't do myself. Take it out with a pinch of salt. I know Radiant is good, but like, I don't know when the best lobbies are to build it, so I can't tell you when the best lobby is, right? But definitely experiment with Radiant. Heartsteel is F- tier. Okay, listen, Heartsteel has its place, right? Heartsteel is, let's say you're against a Jace lane and the enemy team have no percent HP damage on their team, right? No one's gonna build Bork, no one has percent HP, no one has anything to kill tanks. But you also need to be oppressively ahead. So let's say you're against a Jace, you're 5-0, you're recalling with 3,000 gold, sell that D-Blade and buy a Heartsteel, you instantly become unkillable and you just win the lobby, right? There is a game for Heartsteel. Identifying it though is very tough. Do they have no percent HP? Good. Are you 5-0? Good. Can they kill you? No? Good. Heartsteel, right? But generally speaking, F. Heartsteel is the worst mythic in the game. But yeah, that's how you itemize Urgot. Or that's how you build Urgot. Hope it helped. If it didn't help, let me know why. I would like to make a mention of coaching. I'm starting to do coaching for all Urgot mains. Right now, I'm still new to it. relatively. I've been practicing like Sundays by doing coaching sessions on my stream. But if you are interested in coaching, I charge $30 for an hour, 30 British pounds, any lane, but it has to be Urgot, right? So let's say you're trying to get into Urgot jungle, you can run a game or we can do a live game. Generally speaking, I don't like to do live games. I like to VOD review because I feel like the best kind of environment to help you improve as a player is games where you feel like you perform the best you possibly can, and then I can point out the flaws when you feel like you're playing perfect so you can increase your skill ceiling, right? So like, the issue with live coaching is if I coach you live and then your vein is like running it down bot, what can we really learn from that lobby, right? It's like, oh, I lost this game because my bot lane's trolling. So I feel like it's an uninformative, potentially disastrous environment. So generally speaking, I like to do VOD coaching. Yeah, any raw Urgots, anytime, $30. You can hit me up on Discord. The Discord will be in the description. Or my Discord handle is Urpog2665. You're welcome to hit me up anytime. And that's it. I hope you found the video helpful. If you did, please drop a like. Please join the Discord. Check out the Twitch. I'm live every day dropping informational content for Urgot. So hope to see you there, boys. Go Sevens.
Damn, is that the Urpog merch? You know, go down like that.
Have you guys found the hidden mage got from this video? If yes, write a comment down below.